If your name is Drew come to the front. Come to the front and claim your most valuable player prize, because this literally was what I saw. I felt like Drew was being picked on by multiple people, not everyone, but a few people, but in the cast who were just picking at any and everything. She could have sang something well, they had a problem. She could have said something, they had a problem. They had a problem with her resume, they just had a problem with her showing up, just her in general. But anyway, we'll get into all of that in the rest of this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is OJ, and this is my review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season number 17, episode number 10. Now, I have all my notes here on my iPad, so if you see me looking down, just so you know, I am referring to my notes. But before we get into the actual video, please, I would like for you to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you can, or if you choose to. At the same time, share it with a friend, and we'll just get into the rest of the video. So, we're just going to take it from the top. So we open up the scene with Pinky and her team. She's meeting with her team to talk about this, I guess, pilot or this series that she's doing. It's basically about entrepreneurship. It's called Edgewood. I guess in a way, she is the main focal point, or in a way, it's about her and her entrepreneurship, which I think is interesting at the same time. But me personally, not to be negative, I just wonder how that is going to get off the ground, or how that is going to translate to viewership. Because someone like Pinky, like to me, I live in Australia, I didn't really know much about Pinky. I'm just wondering how that is going to be, like just her name alone is going to be a huge draw for audience, for viewers, for, money, for all of those things. And also at the same time, she also brought up the fact that they have like a $40,000 budget. Now, I'm not in the film industry. I am not in any sort of production other than my own little situation here, which is my iPhone and 2 ring lights. But I just don't think $40,000, like, what are you covering? Like, how is that funding the entire project, or the pilot, if you will? Like, how is it paying for people? How is it paying for, craft services and all kinds of things that they need to get this thing off the ground, really? So in this part of the episode, Pinky talks about, which she briefly mentioned, or someone had mentioned actually, talks about how she was a producer on the Maury show, and how she was also, I guess, involved with the casting on the Young Love Fix My Life, which I find interesting because, like, to me, it shows that she understands how TV show works, and she understands the world of entertainment as it comes to a reality TV show. I feel like, yeah, that's just very interesting. Like, I didn't know about that. So, me personally, while she was talking about this project of hers, like Edgewood, while she was talking about her past experiences, I found that interesting. But in terms of a series, not to be negative, I'm just not sure how that would translate to people watching, or to viewers or eyeballs on the screen, really. Um, while they were talking about it, I was also wondering myself, like, obviously Pinky mentioned that she had, or is filing for bankruptcy. I think she's already done that. I was wondering, how does that work when now she is trying to fund something else? Like, is this her own money, or is it money from like another business, or is this money from Derek? Because Derek did offer her money to bail her out, and I'm assuming she didn't take it because she's since filed for bankruptcy. She explains, she says that she has filed like on the business side of things, so it doesn't affect her personally. Now, I'm not all over anything to do with bankruptcy or anything to do with finances in that way, so I'll just leave that alone and go with, I guess, what I understand. She also mentions that she wants this project, or this pilot, to be something that blends Atlanta meets Insecure. I guess Insecure is a show that was done by Issa Rae, or Issa Rae like created the show. There was also one of Pinky's producers. It was just like a side note. Her name's Autumn. I thought that's such a cute name. I have never heard anyone with the name Autumn before. One more thing as well. While Pinky was talking about her business, to me she reminded me of Tabitha. And for those that don't know, Tabitha had a show on Bravo. It was called Tabitha Takes Over. And she, I guess, is like some sort of consultant. She goes into businesses. It's mostly around like the hair, like salon business and all that, and sort of revamps and tries to, bring them up so they can, get to a place where they start making money and all that good stuff. So that's the scene for Pinky's pilot for a TV show. We then go to Lake Bailey. And Lake Bailey is so beautiful. I would 110% live there. Like, it looks stunning. Like, I love everything about Cynthia's house. And also, one thing as well, I feel like we just haven't seen too much of Cynthia's house. I'm not saying we should be seeing every single room, but we mostly see, like, the green couch where they sit, or the outdoor. And like, when they showed the shot, they showed like it's like multiple levels, like 3 levels, I believe. So that was cute. We also saw Drew and Angela show up, and Cynthia was inside, like, I guess, preparing, setting things up for their little get together. Um, One thing I want to note is Drew and Angela showed up without any sort of like a gift or flowers, or just, I don't know. I just personally feel that if you're going somewhere, you should show up with something, whether the host asks for it or not. I just think it's just polite to do that. Maybe it's just the way I was raised, but it was just interesting. I was like, hmm. So they arrive, and Prince, who is Cynthia's boyfriend, he is there as well. So they meet him. I wonder how old is he? To me, like, he looks super, super young. But then it just could be like he's in his 40s maybe, but just looks really, really young. So they talk about how the both of them are doing long distance, and they're just describing how that works for them, which is cute, cool, or whatever. Porsha arrives as well. And then while Portia's there, they talk about obviously him, and then they talk about how Porsha mentions that Cynthia is in love. So I hope, which is good. Like, I hope that this works out for her. I hope this is not a thing where if she were to get married, she does all the proper things by having her prenup and everything, all those good things sorted. Um, I will say I also love how Prince read the room, and at some point, like, he sort of excused himself and left. And when Cynthia had said, what did she say? Because we all know what happens when we have the men all up in women's business. To me, that was like shady, especially towards Peter, her ex-husband, for those that don't know. They sit on the couch, like, start chit-chatting with each other, and then Phaedra rocks up. Phaedra shows up, and then she makes a comment because Drew was already there. And as we have seen in past episodes, or even past seasons, Drew is notorious for just being late. Like, not just like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Like, as we saw in Dallas, she showed up a good 3 hours late, which by the time everything was already done, everything was closed off. So she makes a comment which I found was funny. She was like, "If Drew's here before me, then I know I'm extra late. The party may have started yesterday." And that just shows you how bad Drew's timing is. I guess she's working on it, so I'm happy for her. Um, I also wrote down here, I love scenes with them just chilling on the couch. I think it's nice that I guess you get to see them in a more relaxed, chilled environment, rather than always, being in an actual scene or on some sort of set, or like out at dinner. Like, it's nice to see them just down home and at home. Like, it sort of reminded me of like the earlier seasons of reality TV, especially like Atlanta and like Housewives as a whole. So they tell the girls about how Pinky and Cynthia managed to get both Portia and Kate together, and how that whole conversation went, and how they sort of came to a truce, and how they sort of agreed to handle any sort of future drama, any sort of future issues, which we'll see what happens. We will see what happens, because as we see with Kate Michelle, we'll go on. We'll talk about it later. So Portia brings up the fact that she is still confused about the plot that Kate Michelle was talking about, how she said that there's a plot that's around, or like people are plotting to bring her down. I also wrote here that they want to know who told her that, which I want to know as well. Like, me and Portia, we also want to know, because if you're going to accuse me of something, or people that are in our close circle, like, can you at least tell me? So, shit, I may need to look up for them myself, or whatever. Um, Angela sort of brings up the fact that she thinks that Shamea is the one, I guess, the one that's like instigating, or the one that's doing all the information carrying back and forth with regards to a plot towards K Michelle, which I'm on the fence about. I'm not too sure. I don't know how or why or where Angela gets her information with that, like, in regards to that. And then while they're talking about that and Shamea, Angela also brings up the alleged cheating that confronted Shamea about. She brings it up to the group. And as she starts bringing it up, Porsha just excuses herself to the toilet, which I thought was very grown up. I love the way that Porsha is moving when it comes to her relationship with Shamea. I love how she is choosing to, I guess you could say, take the higher ground. And in a way, not, I guess, out of respect for what they had, to me, I think that I enjoy watching the way Porsha is maneuvering in this situation. It's something that I feel I could learn because I can be very petty myself. Um, yeah, while Angela's talking about how Shamia is allegedly cheating or allegedly how she got those jobs is by sleeping with like the Falcons and the Hawks players. Like me personally, as I said last week, I I don't like stuff like that. Like I just feel like if it's not out there, why are you creating something or why are you creating room for rumors and all kinds of crazy stuff to begin with? Like, this woman has a husband, she's got kids. Like, why are you, I could say, contributing to something that could potentially tear up a happy home, in my opinion? Because we also last year when that guy, I forgot what his name was, when he had come to that cook off that Kelly and Charles had, and he brought up the information of like Charles going on dates with other people, like the way Angela reacted then, it's like, well, if that's how you reacted then, why would you then do something like this to someone who's in like close proximity to you? Like, I get that it's a show, I get that you probably don't like her, but then what is your end game? Like, what is your goal? And also at the same time, where is this information coming from? Because the producers asked her in the confessional, and she said that she wouldn't want to do that to her marriage. But it's like you've already put that out there. You've already said that for 2 episodes now. You said it in the last episode, and you're saying it now in this episode. So it's like, why would you say it in the first place? And I guess they asked for like receipts or proof. The same producer, like in the confessional, and she says that she, I guess, takes the word of whoever the person is telling her or told her about it. It's like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, why are we taking information that we have no proof or we haven't fact checked and just delivering it as is? Like, Angela is being very messy to me. And I wrote here, IDK about Angela's allegation. I don't know about Angela's allegation. Like, I'm not sure if it's true. I would like to not believe it. I don't see it, but you never know. While they were sitting and like chit chatting with each other, Shamea does a last minute invite for Gerald's surprise party, and she sends a text to Cynthia, and obviously it has a list like who's invited. Everyone's invited, I guess, minus Porsha, which understandably, like they've had their issues. And while they were sitting down there, Porsha mentions that Dennis is invited or was invited to the party as well. Which me personally, I wonder, like, is Gerald and Dennis that close where they have like a separate relationship outside of Porsha and Shamea, where by Dennis attending it has nothing to do with Porsha, or like it's like not a slight at all. I just wondered. I just hope that Shamea wasn't being messy in this situation. And also Shamea with the last minute invite, like I get that it's not a last minute, it's a surprise thing, and you have this thing where if you tell one person then too many people, somehow word will get back to Gerald, but it's like, do these ladies even have Gerald's number? Do these ladies even know how to contact Gerald? Like, I feel like it was a lame excuse. I feel like it was a very weak excuse. And my thought is, was this meant to be like a scene that was filmed? Sorry, a scene that was not filmed or not meant to be filmed. And then in the last minute, they then changed to filming it, which is why they needed all the cast there. Or they were still going to film it. Everyone that was there were, in my opinion, not people that were that interesting where we would carry weight enough for the scene to be aired, which is why she then had to invite people like Cynthia, people like Phaedra. Just my thought. I'm not too sure. I'm not behind the scenes with these people to understand how or know all the ins and outs of how production works. I have lost where I'm going. Phaedra asks, I guess, the ones that weren't mentioned in the invite if they wanted to be her plus ones. Drew mentions that she doesn't want to crash the party, referencing Porsha, like with Porsha last year when they had gone to, is it Charlotte or Nashville? When it was like Porsha's birthday trip and they all went there and then Drew showed up and it was like a whole thing. They also cut, like after that, they cut to a scene with K. Michelle and her son. Her son is 21. I thought that her son was a bit younger, like maybe 16, 17, 18. I didn't realize he was that, old. And I didn't realize that, just how grown he was. And now he's graduated from university, or he's still at university. And I think he's just graduating. And then they were just chit chatting about, everything that's going on. And then K Michelle makes a comment about how she has, what's the word? What did I write? Discernment. She has a discernment to pick, or would like to pick a partner, future a potential partner for her son. And I'm just like, and she says that she doesn't want her son to have like someone who's a gutter snipe. And it's like, okay, Michelle, I mean, you would know, right? Like, you would know what a gutter snipe is. Like, I'm sorry, but look at the way you're behaving. Look at the way that you are carrying yourself in the show, and look at the way that you are handling conflict or creating conflict. Let's be honest. I was like, okay, it was, yeah, whatever. You do you, Kate. That's your child. I don't even have kids. So we now go to Gerald's surprise party. Gerald's surprise party looked so nice. It was at their wonderful, beautiful house at Sterling Hall. They show Shamea and Gerald and the girl show up in like a yellow Ferrari, I believe, Lamborghini, I think, whichever one, but it was an SUV. Beautiful. Everyone looked amazing. My thing as well is, how did Cynthia and them manage to get all their outfits done like within, like, getting the text at the nighttime, and the next day they had the outfits ready? Like, I guess they had to go down to like some sort of garment shop or an African shop somewhere, because we have those ones here in Australia. But that's besides the point. Anyway, the food looked beautiful, and as someone that I have tasted Kenyan food, because Gerald's Kenyan, beautiful, amazing. And I will also say, side note, I love the Kenyan accent. Like, I like the way that they speak English. Like, to me, it's very beautiful. Maybe also because yeah, I'm just gonna, yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna go any further. I thought that was beautiful. Like, their accent is so beautiful. Um, Kate and Cynthia show up. They both look very nice. I also have here, Shamea, you invited everyone last minute because production made you. That's my thought, because Shamea does explain what I had spoken about earlier. She said that she didn't want to invite them too early because the chance of information getting back to Gerald was very big. But it's like, Shamea, I don't think that they have a relationship with Gerald in that way. They don't know him like that to have his number. And I don't think anyone would spill the beans or ruin the surprise party. Like, I just couldn't see that happening. But I just wrote down, I was like, nah, production made you. Production wanted them there. This was a scene for everyone so that it would be picked up for the show or kept in the show. Because I don't think if Phaedra or Cynthia didn't show up, what would they have to show? Just saying. I also felt like the scene with Gerald's birthday too was like very like, they just sped through everything. Like, showed them arriving, showed them getting inside, showed them doing the speeches. Gerald's brother did a speech, which was beautiful, and then suddenly they were just sitting down talking. Like, I was like, oh my god, like, was there anything else that happened, or was there restraints or constraints with how they were filming, or what they could film that night? Like, that was so fascinating to me. So Shamia says she didn't want to invite Porsha because they aren't in a good space, and she doesn't want to fake it. I also mentioned this before, that it's interesting that she's invited Dennis. Now, I guess two things could be true or whatever. So if Dennis is a friend of Gerald, then it's a non-issue because he's not with Porsha. But on the side of Shamia, the one doing the invite, it looks a bit dicey. It looks a bit maybe slightly messy, but maybe it's just me. I could be reading too much into it. I just thought it was interesting that she didn't want to invite Porsha to be fake, but then she invites Porsha's ex, who's also Porsha's baby daddy. But they're also not together, so why should it matter? But, it is what it is, I guess. Oh my god, what if this thing keeps... So while they're sitting down in the group on the couches, you have Gerald and like Shamia and the rest of the cast with them. Kelly starts talking, and she, I guess, gives like a birthday shout out and like sings praises to Gerald and Shamia together as a couple. And then she starts crying, and I'm like, oh Lord have mercy. And then she also says that Gerald and Shamia are couple goals. I guess on paper, I guess looking at them, they would appear to be couple goals. But hearing things that we see on the show in regards to the whole surrogacy journey and them having filed 5 failed, I guess, transfers, or like the embryos that didn't make it, like, and what appears to be Gerald, basically by any means necessary, putting a lot of pressure on Shamia to have a son, even though he's got 2 daughters, which I don't understand what the issue is with some people and their choice to, they feel like having a son is the only way to carry on like their lineage or their name or whatever. Like, you can still do that with your daughters. Like, This is some old school way of thinking that I just feel it's just so outdated and it's just so wrong. And the poor girls, they have to see all this. Like they will literally grow up and in a way be privy, or like they might feel away. And I hope that that doesn't cross their mind. I hope that, I don't know what I hope for, but I just hope that, moving on. Um, yeah, so while Kelly was saying like couple goals, I was just like, I don't know, like from what we've seen of how things are when it comes to the surrogacy, things are when it comes to how Gerald shows up on the show. And my thing is this, like, I get that she's on the show, I get that he probably doesn't like that, but at the same time, could you at least show up just for me? Like, if I am your wife, could you just make it, like, just be interested, just show up. You don't even have to say long. Smile instead of just being there, like saying one or two words. Like, he's just so awkward on camera, and I'm not too sure what it is. Like, I hope that everything is well. And while Kelly was singing praises about them, like she was talking about them being couple goals, Kay Michelle then in her, I guess, confessional basically says that, oh, well, like, if she's speaking that highly of them, like, do they have a thing? Like, were they, did they all hook up together? Are they like a throuple type of thing? Like, she didn't say the word throuple, but like the way she was, I guess, spreading misinformation, I will say. It's just like, hey, Michelle, like, what is going on in your brain that someone is sitting here wishing their friend's husband a happy birthday or singing praises to them as a couple together or him as an individual, or she or whatever, and your first thought is about sex. Your first thought is about what people do in the bedroom. Like, I just think it's weird. Like, why was that the first thing that came to your mind when all Kelly was doing was just being drunk and singing praises? Like, it was just weird to me. But then it also, like, I was just like, well, Kay Michelle did say that in her own relationship, she doesn't mind that her husband has sex with other people, other women, I should say. Like, I, you know what? I don't understand. Not my relationship, but it was just weird. Um, I was just like, it was just like projection. I was like, why would your mind even go there? Like, that's so weird. And then Kay tells Shamea what Angela told her about their sit down and how she had accused Shamea of like sleeping around on Gerald, or how she kept her jobs with the Falcon and the Hawks teams, like by sleeping with the players and all that. And like I said, it's interesting that Angela is being, I guess, the main one carrying these things around when we all know how she reacted last year when the guy came and said that her husband Charles was going on a date with other people, and yeah, we all saw how that went. Um, while they were talking about it, Shamia calls Angela Bigfoot, and Cynthia, I guess, I feel like Cynthia, not she wasn't offended. I feel like not sticking up as well. I just feel like she just felt like it was just like juvenile. Like, you're so annoying. Like, oh my god, can you just get to the point? We don't need to name call. We don't need to be descriptive about how someone's appearance or what they look like to get your point across. Like, it was just Shamia was being annoying with the whole Bigfoot thing. Like, just let it go. That's so old at this point. Um, yeah, and that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the party. Well, Gerald's party, really. I just said Kelly is so drunk. They needed to send her into the room, lay down with some water, some bread, get her to simmer down, but she was fine. Porsha and Giselle meet up. This scene was so nice. It was so nice to see Giselle. I always feel like, not that I would say I'm not a fan of Giselle. Giselle, I don't enjoy her on the show, but on her show on Potomac, it's just like hard to watch. Versus seeing her on other shows or interacting with other people outside of her main cast members, like, it's fascinating. Like, it's, I don't know, it's just interesting. And I will say they both look beautiful, especially my girl Porsha looked amazing. Giselle looked so good in like the orange, like peachy colored. Her hair looked nice. Like, to me, everything looked nice. Porsha could never do any wrong when it comes to like makeup and just she's a very beautiful woman. So they both sit down to catch up, and Giselle mentions why she's in town to do a show. I can't remember the name, but I believe she had done it with Wendy, so she's just working on that or doing other shows, like other business stuff. Um, Porsha brings up, sorry, Giselle brings up Porsha's divorce, and Porsha mentions that, it was 15 hours long, but they managed to wrap everything up in New York or whatever. So I'm glad that that's done. Porsha's free woman now. Um, while they were there, Giselle asks about Shamia and Porsha I guess she gives like a very diplomatic answer with how she's choosing to handle the situation and how she's choosing to like navigate because they're still in the same circle, they're still around the same people, they are literally at the same job, they do the same job. So it makes sense for how Porsha is choosing to navigate this, which I find very mature of her. And like hats off to Porsha. Like I think she's doing a great job with how she's handling the ending or the breakdown of their friendship. Um, and while Porsha was talking about like that whole situation with their friendship or like the breakdown of it, the producer asks her about Gerald's party, and Porsha literally was like, that's her house, which I agree. Like, if I'm not good with you, why would you invite me to your house? Like, I feel like that's just weird. Like, why would I go somewhere where I wouldn't feel welcomed or I know that you and me have had or have issues? We now go to Pinky's casting call for her pilot, for her TV show, what is it called, Edgewood. While they were there, it literally shows like a line wrapped around the building. I was like, wow, that's a lot of people showing up. Drew shows up. She comes with her driver, I believe. One of the people that were arguing as part of her crew last episode. And side note, I think Bravo should give Drew a show like Drew's Crew or whatever with her people, because whatever they were giving was, wow. I can just see them kind of like Candy in the Game, but in a different way for Drew and her life and whatever she has going on. Shamea's there as well, and Shamea was shown like reading her script or practicing, rehearsing her lines for her audition. So Drew says that she is there to support. She also mentions that she was hit up by Angela to audition. There was like proper protocol that Angela didn't follow when it comes to like Drew and how she does business, which is fair. Like Drew is an actual actress. She does this for a living. People like Shamea are the ones that want to break into where Drew is. So I didn't see anything wrong with what Drew said. Also, I think Shamea mentions like, why not just read and then rehearse and like on the spot and then go audition like without. But Drew just said that's not how she works, which is fine. Like she is the professional in this job title anyway. Drew offers to, I guess, not give tips, but like help Shamea with her rehearsal, like, and Shamea refuses. It's like, well, Drew's actually an actress. Like she actually has done this for so long. She's been in Step Up. We have seen her in, I can't even think right now, but there's so many movies that she has done. So why wouldn't you take advice from someone like Drew? Okay, Shamea. Okay, Shamea. Even though I felt Shamea did a good job. Drew then goes outside to talk to Pinky, and I think there was a lady named Notori or Natori. She has known or worked with Drew before, so they greet each other. How have you been? Blah blah blah. All the pleasantry, and then Pinky is still under the assumption that Drew is there to audition, but Drew tells her why she's not audition or how things have fallen into the way where she can't audition just because she's not prepared, doesn't have what she needs, and what she needs hasn't been sent to Drew via her team, her manager. Pinky on her side says that Drew did ask for those things, and Drew was meant to provide an email, which apparently never came. So it is what it is, and here we are. So Drew isn't auditioning. She's then about to leave, or Pinky says like, she has to kick you out. I'm just like, and then also while they're talking, where is it? I wrote down here, why is Pinky shading Drew when Drew says she's done box office movies? And Pinky was making fun of like saying like all like FedEx boxes and blah blah blah. It's like Drew actually has done lots and lots of movies, like White Chick, Step Up. Like, what have you done, Pinky? I know that you were a producer on like the Maury Show, but outside of that, what have you done that's like blockbuster? What have you done that's big like box office movies? Like, it's crazy how they try to bring down Drew or try to minimize her credits or like her resume when some of them are trying to be in the same places that Drew is in. Some of them are trying to be in the room that she's in, especially when it comes to like the acting and all that. So it's just like, it's very, very weird. Like, it's giving jealousy. It's giving, yeah, it's so weird to me. Anyway, so obviously Drew leaves, and we see Shamea auditioning, which I think Shamea did a really good job. Because I'm not sure like who she was auditioning as, like was she auditioning as Pinky or someone else? But she did say, what did she say? While she was doing her line, she said, I am a whole vegan. To me, gave pretty much Pinky. So is she auditioning to be Pinky in the show or whatever? I don't know. But I feel like she did really good. I think like Shamea did Really, really good job. So hats off to her. We then cut to a scene where we're at K Michelle's house. Now, I think K Michelle's house is so pretty. It's kind of giving like Bailey in a way because the house is by the lake. It looks very serene and very peaceful. And they also show that she's in there talking to her assistant. I would say that her assistant like always looks like a deer in headlights. Like she's always like there's another scene that I'll be talking about when the assistant pops up later. But it was like very interesting. And while they're there, Kay Michelle mentions that Phaedra's very bougie, and I was like, well, hey, to me she has worked hard. She has a lot of jobs, as she says. So yeah, she has every right to be bougie. Kay Michelle says, I have tried everything in my life not to like Phaedra. And I wrote down how and why, because my thing is it's like, why? Like, why is it that someone that you probably haven't met before, other than seeing her on TV, you're just trying to not like? Like, is it jealousy? Is it insecurity? Is it all of the above? I don't know. Like, it was just so weird to me. Um, K Michelle also says that whatever pie someone brings or a lady brings, or whatever pie that Phaedra's bringing, will tell her about the type of person or the type of lady that Phaedra is. And Phaedra brings a pecan pie, whatever that means. I mean, I know what a pecan pie is, but I don't understand, I guess, the cultural context of what this means. I'm from Australia, so that's why I probably don't understand. They also show them, sitting at the dock. They're sitting with those Kool-Aid soaked sausages to use as bait. I've never heard of that. That is so strange, but I guess I wouldn't be down there fishing either myself, just like Phaedra. But hey, they were both down there fishing. Phaedra was being a good sport, and they were both trying to catch fish, which they didn't end up catching anything, but it's fine. Um, Phaedra asks Kay Michelle what it's like being a newlywed, because we know that Kay Michelle and her husband literally just got married just before the show had started or they started filming. Um, Phaedra also mentions that the start of her marriage with Apollo was very hard. I'm like, well, like Kenya said, you literally got him fresh out of prison. So what did you expect? You literally conceived your first child on an air mattress. What did you expect? Like, you literally went to jail and you picked up a jailbird who comes with all kinds of whatever they come with. What did you expect, Phaedra? Like, you were literally marrying below your status, or like you were marrying down. So I don't understand why it's surprising, but you know what? It is what it is. And they talk about having, like, Kay potentially having more children, or how she wants to give more children to her husband. But she has also mentioned that, like, for 5 years or so, she has done like so much IVF, which God bless the women that are going through IVF and all. It just sounds like very intense. Like, God bless, because that is wild. And she says, I think she mentions that she's open to using a donor, like an egg donor of some sort, and he isn't against it. So that's cool. Phaedra, I wrote it down here. Phaedra asks her why Porsha wasn't invited. I'm so confused. Is this like invited to her house? Well, I guess if she wasn't invited, it's like, because, well, they just made up type of thing. Like, anyway. So Phaedra brings up how they're having like this charity event thing where, in the honor of rich homie Quan. Speaking of him, I didn't even know that he had passed. Like, oh my god, rest in peace to him. Like, I knew him from his song like Hit the Quan, which was like from 2016 or 15 or 17, 18. Oh Jesus, I'm sweating. Like, I didn't even know that he had passed. But so they're hosting a charity event thing in honor of him. They asked Drew to sing. Phaedra says that they should all go and support, which I think is a great idea. And Kay Michelle basically says that she's going to be sick that day. It's like, come on, Kay. Like, why the hate? Like, what about Drew is such a huge turnoff? Like, just tell us. Tell us so we can all understand and move on or not move on or whatever. Like, you're just going around in circles every time. You're always being shady to her face. You're not even telling us or telling her directly what is going on. It's just so annoying at this point. Kay basically doesn't want to go. She says she's going to be sick that week. Yeah. Kay also says that Drew said that she doesn't belong. Well, Drew actually did say you obviously you don't fit in like talking about the context of the group. which I guess you could take it as someone saying you don't like belong here. But at the same time, it's just like, well, what I've seen, what I feel is Kate started with Drew, and Drew's just firing back. So why do you have the issue now? Because all she wanted to know was, I guess, how you knew Black, or how like that you guys had just known each other. She didn't even say anything bad about it. Like, it's just, I don't want to go backwards. I've already spoke. I said I do not want to talk about Black, so we're just moving on. It's the day of the charity event. Everyone shows up to the charity event. Everyone but Phaedra, because Phaedra's son had torn his MCL and it needs to be drained. God bless poor little boy. Bless him. Everyone's there, but obviously Phaedra and K Michelle's there, but she's in the car. I guess she's just avoiding Drew. Drew sings the national anthem. I think she did a beautiful job. She has a nice voice to me. It was funny. Kelly greeted Porsha. It was like, Kelly, like after all this shit that you had talked about Porsha, after acting, all big and bad and rah rah rah, you still had to come back and you still had to basically like, it must have hurt you to speak to Porsha, or you had to make it known, like you had to speak to Porsha. Like, that's crazy. I was like, whatever, I guess. Kate, like I said, Kate Michelle shows up and she just stays. She says she's only showing up for rich homie Quan, which she also says that she knows the family and she's pretty close to them, because she does come out later and she does, like, she's going around hugging the family and greeting them and blah blah blah. My thing is this: if you are there for rich homie Quan, you're supporting the family. This is a charity event run by his family in his honor. That means that they picked Drew to sing the national anthem in his honor, and you're there for his honor in his honor. Then, if you have a problem with Drew singing or performing or whatever, then you have a problem with what the family chose. Doesn't make sense, but whatever, K Michelle. Whatever, you do you, girl. I said Phaedra didn't come because of her son's torn MCL. Porsha asked why Kay is late. We all know why. She didn't want to be there to support or see Drew. Kay says that she's there for the family. I'm like, I'm sure you are. And Drew said that Kay came to make a scene and she hasn't done anything to her. I agree. I completely 100% agree. They then cut to a scene. I guess everyone was meant to meet up for dinner. The only people that were available to go and chose to go for dinner after the event was K Michelle and Shamea together, and then Drew was meeting them. And then she comes into the restaurant and she's like, I'm here to meet some friends. I'm like, girl, those are not your friends. They're about to roast you. Actually, they didn't, because Drew had them both running away. So, yeah, Drew is meeting with Shamea and K Michelle. Good Lord. Like, literally, hats off to her. She's basically walking into the lion's den. Like, she is meeting up with her ops by herself, about to handle these two. So, you know what? God bless her, because she did that. She did exactly that. So, when Drew arrives, they all like do their orders or whatever, and then Drew said that she's happy that Kay came despite her illness or being sick, and Kay says that I don't like going places where I don't belong. And then Shamea pipes up and she says, you did tell her you didn't belong. I'm like, well, Shamea, why are you speaking for her? Like, why are you going from being someone's lapdog to another person's lapdog? Like, oh, just let her speak. Like, just let her speak and get her thoughts out. Like, why do you feel the need to like jump in and save a girl? Like, just, oh my God, be quiet, Shamea. And then Drew goes to Kay, says to Kay, oh, that's what you're talking about. Because what Drew had said was, she just said that you didn't fit in, like when they were arguing at the table, which I guess is basically saying the same thing, whatever. Drew says, oh, that's what you're talking about. I don't understand segments of sentences with punctuation and adjectives. I screamed because that was so shady. She's, I guess, basically calling Kay, like, you're dumb. Like, your lack of comprehension is showing right now, because what you're saying or what you're trying to understand or my reaction to you is based off your reaction. And everything I've said is based on what you've said to me. So anyway. And, Kay Michelle brings up the whole fact that, she went to university as well, which is fair, whatever. Drew asks Kay, what did I say? And Kay said a lot of things. I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to say that I said something, what explicitly did I say that has offended you, so we can somehow move on or choose not to move on, or we can just acknowledge it and just let it be what it is or whatever it can be, she says a lot of things, and then Drew says, "You need to stop speaking up." That killed me because then K Michelle scoffs, and I screamed when she's like, and then Kay says, "I think I'm doing very good and controlling myself, and I spoke up enough about it." It's like controlling yourself. K Michelle, having an outburst in Dallas, getting up and leaving the scene because the kitchen got hot, like you did a few minutes later, a few moments later, is not controlling yourself. You're being coward. You're being a coward about this. Like instead of sitting down and having a conversation about it or bringing everything up, you're choosing to just what I feel is the easy way out. I'm just saying. Um, and she said that she has spoken up enough. Have you though? You haven't. You haven't because all we're hearing is what they have allegedly said, or not allegedly said. All we're hearing is about this plot. Nothing in details. Nothing about what has said or who said what, or when it was meant to happen, or blah blah blah. Like it's just so confusing to me. I'm so confused and I'm so over it. Drew says, "I haven't heard anything," which, yeah, we haven't heard anything. Like, you keep saying that you have spoken up enough. Where? When? We don't know. And then Shamia asks, "How do you feel about your performance?" She asked Drew about it. And then she also offers, because Kay had missed the performance, she offers to play, you're so lame, Shamia. She offered to play the national anthem that I guess she had recorded. It's just like, you know that this girl doesn't like her. Why are you instigating? Like, just let just let Kay handle herself. Like, Shamia, oh my God. And then Kay gets up to exit, like she exits to go to the bathroom, and Shamia's like, "Give me a bag," because I don't think you're coming back, and we all know that that's Kay Michelle's thing. So Kay Michelle leaves to go to the bathroom and leaves her bag with Shamia and Drew. And while she leaves her bag, as she was getting up to exit, Kay says to Drew, "I heard she did really good. She's done it 50, 11 times. She should have it perfect." It's like, hey, like, what's the issue here? You have so much animosity and bitterness towards Drew. It's very weird. Like, it's strange. It's so strange to me, honestly. Um, and when she said that, Drew was like, "And I'm gonna keep it perfect too." And obviously, she gets up to leave, and then Drew's like, "Am I making her uncomfortable?" Which is like true, because it's like Drew hasn't even done anything major. Drew hasn't even done like whatever Drew's doing, like keeping her composure, speaking in a nice low tone. It's just getting under Kay's skin and is eating Kay alive. And the same with Shamia as well, because obviously we see Kay then jumps in Shamia's car and she's like waving at them. It's like, well, go then. Why are you just sitting there waving? Like, that's so weird. And when she left her purse back, it was like a Chanel purse, and I was like, why would you like leave your belongings? Especially if you're planning to just leave, like, especially something that expensive. Like, why would you just leave it behind like that? Whatever. Because we then see her assistant coming in, and that's what I was talking about. The assistant's like always seems like she's in like a deer in headlight moment. Like she come in like to go like grab the bag, and I'm just like, just walk in. You're literally there, not part of the scene. You're there to working for someone. Also, maybe working for K Michelle would really put her on edge. I'm guessing, but anyway. Um, so Shamia goes, "You did keep saying her name with your dude, as in talking about Black. I don't want to talk about Black. I'm just gonna skip this note. I don't care anymore." Um, Drew says that Shamia is a spokesperson and a lapdog, just like she was last year. I agree. I agree, because why is Shamia trying to fight someone else's battles when she has her own battles and her own things that she needs to figure out? Um, while they're, I guess, going back and forth, then Shamia gets up and walks out as well. Walks out to the car to meet Kay Michelle, and I guess ask her to drive her home. And it's like, well, isn't the car your car? Why are you asking someone else to drive you home? But the thing that really was annoying and low key to me, bullying, so weird, was the two of them, to me, what appeared to be mocking Drew. Like, they started playing the national anthem and then singing at the top of their voices on the street side. Like, how low can you just, that was just desperate, disgusting, and I felt like it was annoying Drew a bit, and I felt like it was hurting, like it did hurt her feelings, because it's like, why are you guys bullying someone? Like, that is so weird. Like, if you're not going to sit there and have a grown up conversation, why are you choosing to do this? Like, this is very weird energy. Like, oh god, these two are so draining. Like, I get that these shows are about conflict, but there's also has to be of resolution at the end. There also has to be like coming together sort of moment, and then you just move on to the next issue, and then we just keep rolling. So I just know that this reunion is going to be a mess. And everything that K Michelle's talking about this plot, is she going to reveal at the reunion, or is she just going to be like, oh? But it's so annoying. And then Drew just sat down while they're drinking her lemon drop. So to me, like I said, Drew is the MVP of this episode because it just felt like the fact that she showed up to dinner or like a snack time or whatever with two of her ops, and she had them both scared running when they were there backing each other up was crazy. Like, and Drew didn't even raise her voice. She didn't even jump up out of his seat. She just sat there, spoke in a nice, cool, clear, calm tone, and just got people riled up. This episode was good. This season of Housewives of Atlanta has been amazing. Like, I have enjoyed it so far, despite the drama, despite people being annoying. K Michelle, it's been good. And Kelly, it's been good. Like, I have really, really enjoyed watching. I thank you all so much for watching me. Thank you for giving me your time and your ears. I hope that you have an amazing evening. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and also check my channel out for other videos because I also make other videos, whether it's commentary on Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17 or it's just other commentary on my 75 hard day challenge, which 75 day hard challenge, which I'm doing right now, and also commentary on little things that I find interesting or things that I have found helpful for myself that probably might or may help someone. Other than that, I love you all for watching. Have a wonderful, amazing evening, day, afternoon, morning, whatever time you're watching this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.